Good day, puppy lovers. I have 2-year-old Milo with me today, and he has the cutest little nose. Such a sweetie. So sit back, relax, and maybe you'll learn a thing or two. We're just gonna give him one nice shampoo, and we're gonna give him we're gonna wet him first. It's always best to wet your dog first. A nice soak. I'm not going to wet the top of the head with the shower head thing here.
Hey there, puppy lovers. If you'd like more quiet grooming videos, behind the scenes tips and tricks, and to follow my huge garden project from ground up, front and backyard, then come join my members only corner. It's like a secret garden just for us. Just click the join button next to the subscribe button, and you're in for exclusive videos and updates I don't share anywhere else. Hope to see you there.
He is so tiny, guys. Yes, I've been grooming him ever since a little baby. Okay, here's one. Here's the other. Oh, yeah. Not a lot of hair there, honey. Give it a nice scrub. So, as you notice, I always like to start on the back, get everything done there, go to the tail, get the tail done, the bum, one leg in between the toes, and the other leg also, okay? Between the toes. Okay. I like to be thorough, so that's why I always do it. It's important to always do everything pretty much in the same order, the best you can, because then you're sure you got everything done. So for me, it's back, tail and bum, both legs, sides, nice little side rub, both legs here, around the neck, and then we're going to do the top of the head. And now I'll show you how I rinse out with my cloth. Sides over here. Often you'll find that these, right under the ear here, it's greasy. They get greasy. So this little one, usually you'll see me hold the dog's head and get in there with the soap. Like hold the dog's head down to rinse out. And this dog's little nose is a little close to his eyes. So in general, I like to wash with my product that I use at the table. I don't put any soap here. If he had a longer nose, then I would put soap. But the other stuff that I use, it's made to wash the eyes, the eye area. I'm gonna give him a nice rinse. Rinse off the whole back here. Go down into the tail. Rinse it all off. Each leg. And of course you want to do the bum. Okay. All around the dog's neck. So I'm going to hold his head down. Just like that. And I hold the head down because, see here, there's no water that can get to that. So I'm holding the head down just to rinse. The only thing I'm rinsing is the front part here. Everything in front. That's all I'm rinsing. Okay. To rinse the top of his head, I will use a nice cloth. It's what do you call that? It's super absorbent. Anyhow, I don't know why I'm not remembering. Once I wiped his whole head off and his ears, I'll hold his ears down. The reason why I wipe first is so that when I close the ears, if the ears were all wet and I close the ears, that would just send all that water, squish all that water into the ear. Okay? If there are no more sparklies, and there's no more sparklies, he doesn't have much here. No more sparklies, then there's no more soap. So I'm gonna get the belly. Usually the bellies are the last thing that I rinse out because all of the soap goes all down onto the belly here, okay? All right, we're all done. We're all done, honey. One more, up, up, up. There. Okay, now I'm gonna use this cloth here. He splashed me in my face. You got some all over my glasses now, hun. Yes, you did. Okay, so I'm gonna squeeze all of that water out. These are just amazing, these cloths. I love them. I got them off Amazon. They're super, super absorbent. You'll notice they have this little ridge here. Someone was asking me about these cloths. The way they're cut, they have like a little, anyhow. They're really, really good. I love them, love them. I need to get a whole bunch of new ones actually because I want them to match my new paint. I'm gonna be painting in here. So for those who don't know me, my name is Elizabeth Jenn and I've been dog grooming since 2010, professionally dog grooming, working, and I own my own little dog grooming business. There you go. And I have a beautiful clientele. Yeah. Oh, you want to just rub, huh? All right. So, what I usually like to do at this point, I'm going to add a little bit of conditioning spray to his hair here. I'll add some to my hand to put on top of his head. I don't like spraying in their face. Okay, that should be enough. Oh, yeah. There you go. Okie doke. So I'm gonna tie this towel around him. It's not like it's really cold, but I have the air conditioner on just the same. So, whoops, hang on. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, I just dropped my paper. Oh, moving everything around here. Okay. So, I'm gonna start off with the flea comb. I'm gonna get right in there with the flea comb. The other side too. The flea comb really helps to go get, you know how I wet him here when I was holding his little nose down like this and I wet him? That helps to loosen all of that debris up. It loosens it up. Okay, so how does that even happen? There's my comb. I was looking for my comb. I am going to cut away. You can either shave or cut with scissors. I use scissors in general. And I'll just cut some of that out. And then once I've shortened that, now I have place to clean. Remember I said that I didn't want to use any soap in his eyes? Well, now I can use this. This is just pet tear stain remover. This one's from a wall, but there are different companies. So all I'm gonna do is clean out this whole stop area. There. Look at that little nose. Look at that little nose. I love this little guy. I love them all. All the puppies that come see me are my friends. So I'm just getting some more of this. This is not the wall, it's just the bottle. I'm not remembering what company it is. It comes in a big jug, so it's air cleaner. So I'm gonna use one side. I'm gonna flip it over and use the other side. See how I did that? I don't need to take any hairs out of there. It's got nothing. I will snip some of that off though. Just these little extras. I'm going to save this because I'm going to go look in the back to see if there's anything happening in the bum area. He's all, oh, look at that shaky bum. That was so cute. So cute the way you did that. Just going to take a little bit of that off. And just to be sure, just to be sure, I'm going to use this pad here. See, I'm happy I used it. There was a little there, so it's good to clean this out really. I mean, I'm cleaning it out at the tub. I'm washing and scrubbing there, but there's always something left, so. All right. So I always clean out, I always have this towel here on the side, and I always clean these out with my towel, and then I use alcohol. I'll use the alcohol and spray this down and let that sit. I don't wipe it. I let it dry and evaporate on its own so it can disinfect properly. Okay, so we're going to dry this little one here. Time to dry you, honey. I'm just gonna close my light here. Hun. Okay. So, I'm going to put these on here. Do you want to wear them? Do you want to wear them like that? No? I'll wear them. I have a happy hoodie for you. Would you like this? So not all dogs like the happy hoodie. So we put the happy hoodie on so that there's less wind going into their ears and making loud noise. And it helps with the sound a little, and it helps with the sensation of the wind in their ears, because this is the force dryer that I'm going to be using. You're all good, hon. I'm just going to bring this up just a bit. Turn this on. Whoa. Sorry, I have to bend over every time and then you guys get to see my towel and my floor and my feet. All right, so, okay. Usually when we take these off, they end up tugging. You want to take this off? You're going to pull hard, pull hard. Oh, pull hard. Oh, my. Just flip it over so that it can dry out a bit. Okay, Oh yeah, so those yawns, those are like annoyance yawns. When dogs get annoyed with something that we're doing, they'll often do the yawn. They'll give you one of those long yawns, oh, like saying, I am annoyed with you, lady. So I'm gonna use the deuce here for his head. We're gonna turn it on. I'm gonna start it at the lower setting. You have a temperature setting here. I usually leave it on the green, which is pretty much off, because you can go to orange, and I find that to be, well, it's warm. It's very warm. It's if too close, it kind of gets hot, I find. And then they, like, why bother with the red? It gets burning hot. So you don't want it to be too hot. So that's what I do. I leave it on the green. If I want a little more, like, to straighten something out, like often if a dog is going to be a little curlier, it'll happen that I'll have to turn it on a little warmer just for a few seconds, because warm air helps to straighten out. You know, just like when we're straightening out our own hair, you have a hot, you need heat, right? So, but in general, no. In general, I don't do that. So see, it's on the lowest setting. I'll just turn it on medium. And you have a higher setting also, but you know, he's almost done. He's easy to dry. I mean, doesn't have much hair here. The little nose doesn't have a lot of hair. Little nosy here, like that. There, all good, all dried. Often they'll stay wet here in this area. It's good to dry this here because you don't want, especially like Shih Tzus, if you leave that wet, that's not really good for their skin. They could end up with little skin problems, so you don't want that to stay wet. He's all good. All done. There. Those who don't know, I started my memberships. Memberships are open now. So if you want to join, I am uploading what I call quiet grooming, where I don't talk. And I'm also sharing my huge transformation, my yard transformation. I have a huge yard, and I'm creating a crazy garden back there, like it's going to be the whole yard. So, and I just started, so I planted a few trees, and we just got this started. So I will be adding other videos also about grooming, of course, and tips and tricks. I just need to I want to think of exactly how I could serve that to you. So if you have any ideas, if you remember and you want to become a member, what are the type of videos you would like to see in my membership area? Please let me know, write it down so I can, you know, it can give me a hint on where I go from here. So thanks. If you are already a member, thank you so much for joining and for hanging out with me. All right, so next. So I have a shout out for, this is for Teresa Hansen, okay? Teresa's asking me how to hold the trimmer, and for the feet, you know, how to shave the feet and whatnot, and how short how short we're supposed to go with nails. So first of all, this is what I suggest. If you're a new groomer, I suggest you use a size 10. This is a 10 blade. I suggest you use a 10 blade on the feet. If you're just starting out, if you're, you know, not used to it, if you're still stressed about it, please use this blade. If you are more advanced, of course, you'll be more comfortable with the 30 blade. Some go in and use a 10 blade. 30 blade is shorter than 10, so don't get confused with the numbers. There's the 10 blade is actually longer, and the 30 blade leaves shorter hair. Look at the difference in length in the teeth here, okay? So what we're gonna do here, well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you, there's not much hair under here, but I still need to clean it out. We need to see all toes. See back here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th here. Okay, so all I do is I don't do any digging, first of all. I just come in flat, okay? And this is how I'm holding my lightly. See how lightly this is? And I'm just lightly skimming on top here, okay? If he had more here, I'd come in, of course, you come in an angle. See how there's a triangle? This toe is a triangle, this one here, okay? So you do one side of the triangle and the other side of the triangle. And I hold it flat and lightly, like this, okay? Sometimes I'll turn it around if I need to work certain parts of the little hairs that are coming out, but it's always, you're always holding your clipper lightly, okay? So I'm gonna do it again. We need to see all toes, 1, 2, 3, this fourth one we're not seeing much here. So I'm gonna just lightly go over like that so that we can show that toe. You come in one side and the other side. You don't wanna dig, okay? If you're digging, you can get, between the ditches, you can catch that and they can bleed, okay? You don't want that. Sometimes you can pull the hairs up and out if they're stuck between the pads. So let's get in here a second time. I'm holding it. When I say flat, there's a slight angle. Of course, your dog might pull. Okay. And if your dog is fighting too much, I should be fine with him. You have to change your position of how you hold a dog. See, I'm holding like this here because I don't want him to bend. See how he can bend his arm? So if I'm holding the arm like that, he can't bend. And I'm securing, tightly holding that foot. I don't want him bending. I don't want him pulling. If the dog is kicking and whatnot, and you have a 30 blade, I would strongly suggest you move to a longer blade like a 10, because if they kick and you end up getting that blade into the pad, you're going to probably cut the dog. So I'm just lightly holding the toes here in place so that the dog doesn't move too much. And I try to get it quickly done. The dog may pull. All you do is you reposition your dog, give him a little shake, wait, and tell him wait, 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 wait. He doesn't like this at all. Turn you around. Try another way. But I'm done anyway. I just have a little thing here. And sometimes you gotta learn when to just stop. Or I'm going up here. He doesn't want it. He doesn't want it. You're done. You're done. Safety first. Safety first. All right, so I hope, Teresa, I hope that helped a bit. I'll be getting into the nails in a moment. So first I'm going to switch back to the 10 blade here, and we're going to do his little belly. So this, you just want to use a 10 blade for this part here. Stand them up. If they can stand, I just hold it slightly, lightly and slightly up like this, and would just lightly, it's always a very light touch. You don't want to be poking hard in these areas here. Okay, all done, all done. Holding his arm up a bit. I'm just gonna pull out some of that hair here, just to clean that up a bit. Often some dogs will get all matted there. He won't, he would never get matted because he's just so thin in this area. Next, well, next would be the nails. Here we're gonna do the nails. Are you gonna let me do your nails? He's gonna be trouble. Are you gonna be trouble? Difficult at nails. Are you difficult at nails? Where's my clipper? There. Okay, so we do our best here with the nails. Okay, guys? See how he takes it. All right, so Teresa, you're asking me about the nails. See how short they already are? See, if I'm holding the dog's foot like this, look at this foot here. Look at how flush the nails are with that toe. See how flush that is? There's practically nothing to take off. This might not be the best example, but in another way, you know that that's pretty short. Do you see that center, how pink that is? See that pinkness in there? Right in the middle, all that pink and white. That's already pretty short. What I might want to do, as you mentioned, you got yourself a little Dremel. I wouldn't take the Dremel, but I'd take something a little less abrasive, and I'd use a small one like this. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the tips, just round out that little edge, just a little bit. There's not much to do here. I'm just polishing. No, honey. I'm just polishing the tip of your toenails. No. Just a little light polish. There's nothing to do back here really, because his nails, maybe Mom already did the nails. Maybe Mom did them. They don't look freshly cut because you'll see a sharper edge, but they are short enough. So I just, there's not much to do there. All right, so we're gonna come in and do the nails here. And I'm just gonna use actually a little kitty nipper. So to tell you how short, the only way you'll know is to peel back. You're going to cut just a little bit at a time. He might not be the best example here because he's tough to do. So when you have a tougher dog, this is what I do. I'll sometimes just stand them up, they'll pull, they'll growl, they'll bite. If they're that bad, I'll end up tying them to the groomer's helper. Do you have any thumbs? So I can't really show you how short I can go with these because she's got practically nothing to take off. He still has some, but not much. And he won't comply. Give me a second. See how I'm just going from one way to the next way? Here, hang on. I'm just holding him against my body. I'm just holding him against my body like that, and I was holding that foot like that. Okay, Milo. You are one tough cookie. You really are. No, he's gonna bite me. No, but they're not hard bites. He just wants me to let go. No, that doesn't hurt. I am not. No, I am just snipping the edge. He's okay there. Put your thumb. No. Okay, so he's not letting me do it. His nails are pretty short anyway, as you see. Look at how short the nails are. See? Well, I did a few of them here. He won't let me. Okay, see that little tongue hanging out? I'm not worried about it. If the dog really won't let me do the nails and it's not really necessary that the nails get completely done because they look like they were pretty much done, then I would ask the client to hold their dog so that they can help me finish off their nails, okay? You don't let the dog go home without their nails done. So, in his case, his nails look already done. Some clients have their nails done, either they do them at home or they go elsewhere, but they have them done. So he seems fine. All right, so let's get into the length here. Yeah, get into the length. So he's a 10 millimeter. That means this is the Purple Andis number 2 comb. 10 millimeters, that is 3/8 inch. And I'm gonna pop that on top of a 30 blade. On top of a 30 blade. You do not want to use a 40 blade on top of your metal combs because you are going to break it. Break the comb, break everything. It's just going to be bad news. So you use a 30 blade. You can use a 10 blade also, but just remember, it'll leave it a little longer than your 3/8 inch. So it's always an approx, okay? So, can we do this? You gonna let me do this? You're so squirmy wormy. You're such a squirmy wormy. All right, so 10 blade all over his body. So I see this little one every 6 weeks. So this is about 6 weeks of growth for him. The length. You know, from one dog to another, some dogs grow a little faster than others, just like people, right? And even some dogs, it'll grow faster in one area than other areas. So see how I'm going sideways here? I'm not just going straight down. I'm just, you know, doing like a side comb. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to go this way. And the reason why I do that is I find that it blends on the top of the back. It blends better than to have just like go straight down, especially when you have these silkier coats like this. I find that the finish, see, looks a lot more natural. Okay, stand them up, do one side. When I do cottons and I do, you know, depending on the hair, if the hair is like a hair, like our hair type, and not just like a fluffy, cloudy type of hair, like a cloud, then that's how I'm going to do it in general. Come around. This I leave for scissoring. To one side here. Guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, I would just love that you subscribe and like the video, or just like the video, or just subscribe, or whatever. Or even join the family, even join the members group. I would love to create a beautiful community. I've been here for 2 years now, going on 2 years in October. And I am having so much fun helping you guys and showing you guys how I work. Every groomer works, you know, the same but differently. You know, we all know, we all have our basics down, but everyone has their own style of how they do things, right? How they work. Each person has a different energy with the dog. So I figured when I started my dog grooming video, recording the videos, I figured, why would I do that? There's so many other dog groomers out there doing the same thing. And I realized because I'm me, and no one does how I do, you know? I mean, no, we can each replicate and kind of, you know, have similar, you know, our dogs could look similar, but I mean, what I'm trying to say is that we're all different, you know, we're all different in some sort of way. So I'm going to put this 10 away, and I'm going to use a 13 millimeter here. That is the orangish peach, whatever, number 1 Andis comb. That's a 1/2 inch. And I'm going to pop this back onto a 30 blade. And I'm going to do the top. Some groomers come in this way. I like to come in the opposite direction. That's just how I do things. That's how I learned it. I got my diploma from ICS, International Career School of Canada. And I learned all my scissoring from Jody Murphy. I took Jody Murphy's course, scissoring course. She had a few courses, actually. All right, so this is pretty much the way Jody does things. All right, so I'm going to clip around the pads. Pull all of this out here. And this is one way to do it. You can either lift the pad and just cut around, which I try to keep my scissors flat this way and not too much on the side, because I want to create a bevel. When they put their foot down, I want that little bevel going on, okay? Another way you can do it is you can have the foot down on the ground, on the table, I mean, and you can come in and cut all around like this. This is another way. I just like to lift the pad, therefore I can see anything hanging out. Again, this is how I do it. You do it the way you want to do it. There's no real law. As long as your dog is safe and comfortable. If the dog's not comfortable, maybe you should change your way. And if you're not comfortable, because if you're going to be doing this for a long time, you need to make sure that you're not picking up any bad habits where you're going to be in pain a few years down the road. All right, so once all the feet are done, now I'm going to do all the leg scissoring. I'm going to curve all of this back. I'm using curves here. All I want to do is I want to follow that leg up here like this. I'm going to use some straights for that. Okay, I'm going to fluff this on the inside. Just going to get rid of what's hanging out on the inside. I'm going to bring all of this forward. And all I want to do is follow. I'm holding the leg back here, being extra careful. I don't want to grab the leg. My scissors. See how I created a curve there? Fluff everything back up. I might use my curves for this area here. And I'm also going to go on the inside like that. Make one straight line like that, okay? There are two ways you can do this part. You can either just come in and scissor down, or you can also do scissor over comb, or if the dog permits you, like if the dog likes to stand, you can come and just do scissor over comb like that. You don't want to stop your comb because you don't want to make a hole. Because if you keep snipping in the same area, you might create like a little hole there. You don't want that. See? So it makes for a nice natural leg. I'm going to keep my finger back here. There's a little flab of skin there, so I got my finger. See, this finger's right there. I'm keeping it back there a little lower where the skin is because I want to come cut all around. And if I'm to cut all around like this, I'm not catching the skin. I'll pinch my fingers first, okay? I'm going to come in and do the same thing here. Curve this here. You might want to turn your curves. There. All right. At this point, this is where I'm going to just cut some of the excess here. I'm just following that leg. See how he's pulling? He's little, but he's got a lot in him. You got to be careful, there's a toe here. On this side, same thing. You'll either want to fluff up like that, come straight down, or you can do like I did a while ago. You do a little bit of scissor over comb. Just come in low. And I'm going to take all of that off. Okay. When I first started off, I always thought that there were these huge laws and, you know, oh, you can't cut with that length, you can't do this, you can't do that. And with time, I came to understand that each dog has individual needs. And so do each client. They have individual needs. Just show you how I get this part done. Just pull everything to one side. And just make it nice and straight the whole length of the leg, okay? And you can do the same thing the other way, but he keeps pulling. See how he keeps pulling? So I'm gonna grab, wait for him to calm down, grab with my other hand, wait for him to calm down, holding on tight. Okay, all right, lift up your head. So yeah, every dog and every client has different needs. So depending on how the dog is living their life, are they sitting on the couch all day long like a couch potato? Or are they out in the woods and playing in the dirt? Clients will be asking me, how often should I wash my dog? Well, that's a very valid question. And the answer to that is when your dog's dirty. People used to say, oh, you can't wash your dog too often. That's not really good for them, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? That was back then when people were washing their dogs with human shampoo or they were washing their dogs with dishwashing soap. That wasn't really good for their skin. So what you're going to want to use is good shampoos that are formulated. We have so many good shampoos now that are formulated for regular washing that won't dry out the dog's skin. So how often do you wash your dog? When your dog is dirty. When your dog is dirty. When you feel that he or she needs to be clean. So that's what I answer. We have a few hairs there, but I'm going to come in and fix the rest afterwards. I'll fix this back here first. So yeah, dogs have different needs from one Shih Tzu to the next, depending on their character, depending on how they live their lives, depending on a whole bunch of stuff. How often do you groom your dog? Cut the hair? Well, if you want to maintain and have a healthy coat, anywhere between 6 and 8 weeks is usually suggested. Again, depending on how things go home. Maybe the client will be, taking care of the dog's poopy area and their eyes and giving them baths between grooms. They may be doing their nails at home. So that again also depends on how often they'll see the groomer. But most of my clients, I see them anywhere between 4 and 8 weeks. Some clients are every 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks, depending. There. So I hope that answered a few of your questions, if you had any of those questions in mind. So at this point, I'm just going to fluff everything up like that so that I can go get rid of any sticky outies. Yeah, the dogs often will want, when you're holding their tail like that, they'll want to sit. You don't want to be holding the dog up by the tail. You want to be holding the tail up. So if the dog is pushing like that, like he's doing right now, he's giving a little bit of, you just need to understand that you need to lift the dog more often. And the dog won't understand. Eventually he might, but some dogs just like, no, I don't want that. No, they just won't want it. So just keep lifting him back up, lifting him back up. That's all you gotta do. That's a part of your job. You gotta accept it. Tail, I bring the tail all the way down to the table, and whatever is left, I get rid of that. Unless the client asks me for a little longer. In here, I'm going to give him a light flag. I don't want to take too much off because I see him fairly regularly. I see him every 6 weeks. So I always take just a little bit off. In general, hair will grow at about, a centimeter a month, approx, maybe, depending on the dog again, depending on the age. There. So I like to fluff out the tail again, and then just recomb it and see if there's anything else sticking out. And there are different ways to create tails. I should do a video on just tails, So he's all good. Usually I'll come in and do this here like that. But he's got little fuzzies. All right, so let's get his head done. Okay, so this is what I usually do. I just like to cut just the front here all the way to the corner. Whoa, sneeze. Whew. Scared me. Okay, and I'm gonna, remember we already cut some there, but we didn't cut on top of the little nose. So I'm gonna come in an angle. Come in an angle, never flat. If you're cutting flat, you might grab onto some skin, so you want to be in an angle like this, so you never grab skin this way. Okay? So angle your scissors like that, not like that. Never cut like this. Now if this was a Shih Tzu, you got to be sure, because they have folds in there. It's just extra little hairs I want to get rid of. And they have folds in there, so even if you're in an angle, you could cut that little fold. So it's often safer to use the clippers to just get in there lightly, lightly. I always use, he doesn't want me to hold his head. There's a reason why we hold their heads, guys. We need to hold their head in place, or else they're all over the place while you have scissors in your hands. Oh, what a sigh, what a sigh. Okay. I'm gonna do the tips of his ears. I'm gonna change this over to a 10 blade and do some Yorkie tips. Look at that little tooth. Ah, there's that little demon tooth. I'm gonna turn this on. I'm going to hold his ear. He's going to pull, of course, as usual. And all I want to get is the tip. So I'm preparing and holding that tip and keeping my fingers, see my fingers are right underneath that tip, okay? Because I want to lay it flat. I just want it to be flat and hold the tip, because if you're not holding the tip, you could end up snipping the tip of the ear here. And you do not want to snip the tip of the ear, because they bleed lots. Any extremity will bleed lots, okay? And if it bleeds, do not panic too much. Use styptic powder. It's a yellow powder you can get at your pet shop or online or wherever. Styptic powder, you put a little bit on there and it'll stop the bleeding. But depending on how deep the cut is also, I mean, if you cut the whole ear off, then you really got to get to an emergency. To the emergency. Okay, so I'm just holding the tip here and I'm feeling where that leather is. And all I'm doing is cutting the edge off so that we have nice, clean tips like that. See how nice that is? Okay, I'm gonna take this off here, honey. Yes, you're free, you're free. Once I've done that, I usually like to fluff up here. His hair's not very long, guys. His hair is not very long. Depending on how long the dog's hair is, sometimes I'll have to come in and I'll just snip some of this off. You know, I'll hold at approximately half, approximately to where I've clipped, right? See, if he had a lot of hair here, I'd grab all of this hair and try to bring it all up like that. So again, he doesn't have much hair. And I'm going in lightly because it's happened before, guys, where I have completely cut my knuckles. You don't want that. That's one way. You can shake it out. See how it gives a nice, at the back here. Okay. Well, I'm not totally done in the back. I like to use my thinners to come work the back of the bulb of the ear. Okay. There are other ways that I do this. I sometimes also just fluff everything back like this, and then you'll see me use my scissors like that. But he doesn't have much, as I said. I'm going to take a little bit off of your chin here. So yes, there are different ways to hold the head. See how I'm holding his head here? Because I need to get underneath. And these scissors, they have teeth. So because they have teeth, you have to open and close a little more often. And the reason why I'm using these is because it makes for a nicer, more natural look. There's a difference between using straights and using thinners. You know, you have thinners, you have chunkers, you have blenders. just gonna try to take a little more out of this. See, like these, I would call these thinners because they chunk a little more off. These here, and these are, how many teeth are these? Does it say? I'm not too sure. But I thin this out with these because they chunk a little more off. These are chunkers. They just, you know, watch this. They just, I don't want to do it too much because he doesn't have a lot of hair. So I thin this out with this. So it's thinning it out. And then I'll show you my blenders after. So all I'm doing is following the ear, but I'm gonna go in a little tighter all the way where the tip is. So see, there's a little longer here and shorter there. So I'll do the same thing on this side. So I'm starting further away from the ear leather, and then I'm coming straight in to the tip, okay? And then I'll fold that ear in half, and whatever excess is hanging out, you can see right through there. See that? Any excess hanging out, that's what I'm gonna take out. And then I'm gonna come in and have a look to be sure that that edge meets with the tip. There, okay. So I'm gonna do this again. I just want a round head. So I'm gonna take off everything that's on the sides here. It's too much on the side. Or right by the eye. Can I see your face? So I've got my fingers behind his ears here, and I got my thumb underneath, holding his head straight up. And I want to create a nice circle. You got to use your eyes for this, guys. It takes practice. And remember, always remember, the cut is as good as the dog. That's what I always say. The cut is as good as a dog. If the dog's not being good, the cut won't be good. Okay? And you do your best you can, and you work as safe as you can. And it's never about speed. It's about efficiency. Efficiency will get you to work faster. And when I say faster, I don't mean move faster. It means just, you know, having your tools always at the right place, trying to do everything like always in the same, see that? Look at this little one. Always do everything in the same, that's the word I'm looking for. One after the other there. That really sounds professional. Sequence. I'm looking for the word, sequence. So this is where I'm going to use my blenders. These are my Kenshis, and they are 38 tooth. And blenders, they do exactly what it says. It blends everything in to give it that nice, soft, finished look. No choppiness, none whatsoever. Sometimes you have to come in with your thicker chunkers to be able to get most off and to shape everything. But then with your blenders, you'll finish off and it'll be nice and soft. So guys, I hope you've learned something in this video. If you did, please let me know. Again, like, subscribe, come hang out with me. I'm trying to get this channel to grow, and I really want to create a really nice community here. And again, I have extra videos for you guys in my members, and the way to become a member is all you do is click join on my channel. You'll see that join button somewhere. And yeah, just click join and come hang out with me. Come hang out in my garden with me. And I'll promise you I'll get more videos also, more grooming videos. So I'm just gonna have a few little quick looks around and finish them off, and I'm gonna call Mom. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now. Bye.
Hey there, pet parents and grooming gurus. If you enjoyed my tail-wagging transformations and want more tips to keep your furry friends looking fabulous, just hit that subscribe button. Remember, every click helps spread the love and lathers of grooming joy. Subscribe now and let's embark on this fluffy journey together.